Okay, here we're looking at what we call the nth term test for divergence. The nth term test for divergence. So what we have an infinite series. But what we do, we look at the infinite series as a sequence. And it's a simple test, and it says if the sequence, does not equal 0, then the series diverges. All right, this is called the nth term test. Okay, so now we have 8n minus 7 over 2n plus 5. So what we do, we set up an infinite sequence. Now, if we remember, you can go through and do all of your simplification processes and everything. And we can look at this one. This will end up being 4. Four does not equal 0. So therefore, the series diverges. See, it's given to you, you're given a series. You have to evaluate and use the rules for a sequence. All right? And then that determines the divergence of the series. Okay, now we look at this one. We have a series. It says n squared minus 9 over 3n plus 4. Let's look at this one. All right, y'all, my room is limited. But we evaluate this as a sequence. All right, one thing you know from the rules after you go through all your simplification, this limit would be infinity. Infinity does not equal 0. Therefore, this series diverges. All right. Once again, we're given a series. We evaluate it as a sequence. Look at the difference. All right. But depending on what happens with this sequence, that tells us what's happening here. All right. Now, this last series, we have 5n minus 6 over n squared minus 16. We evaluate this as a sequence. Our limit n is going to infinity. As you already know your rules, I don't have room to go through that. You have it. All right. In the end, this limit is going to end up going to 0. Now remember, if it did not equal 0, it diverged. This one did not equal 0. It diverged. But this one does equal 0. The easiest thing to do is say it converges, all right? But don't do that. This series is inconclusive. Now, the nth term test for divergence, it's either diverges or inconclusive. A series will not converge by the nth term test for divergence. That's what it's called. All right. Now, to tell us, we will have other rules down the road that will allow us to solve this problem and tell us if it actually diverges or converges. All right. But for now, using the nth term test, it is inconclusive.